Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bar off and the chain, but we're going to take this off and then clean it up and put it back on. And it's the same procedure if you're changing your bar, you're changing your chain, right? So, two birds, one stone. What you will need though is you will need a 1/2 inch socket or a 1/2 inch wrench, whatever you want. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, there she is. So I hope you guys are enjoying your winter. I know I'm not. We finally got our first big snowfall here, and we got 1.5 foot in places. So yeah, I wasn't too happy. Spent a couple hours crying about it. My skidooing and those types of things is in the past. So anyway, you just take those two nuts off there, and you will need to show you here. This that tightens up your chain. Just loosen that off a bit. So takes the tension off of your guard here, your plate. And yeah, that's nothing though, really. So take her off the sprocket, and this chain is pretty good. I could do with a new bar, cutting bar, but you know, because when you take your bar, I got a piece of glass pane on a level surface. You put your bar up like that, and if it stays like that, that's fine, right? But you see, even this one, it falls over, right? So what I do is put a sandpaper, tape it to the glass, and you smooth this out so that you're making both rails even. So when it, you know, it stands up. So when I put the chain back on, I'll put it back on, because this is the cutting side of the bar. So I'll put it back the same way. But for anybody that you know, you find yourself, one of the reasons may be that you're cutting on a curve is it can be your bar. I don't mean it is, but it could be that your teeth is shorter on the one side than the other, so it's not gonna even out, you know what I mean? Anyway, this here is, if I could right here, this was chewed away. I don't know if it was the chain that somehow, I have no idea why this happened, but it was leaking even more than normal. I mean, this thing leaks oil when you put it down after use. I just accepts it, you know. But really, I just make sure it's pretty much empty when I put it away, and that's no problem. But it was a lot more than usual, so I don't know if you can. So what I did, this was all full of holes, so I just took the MIG welder and just quickly, I didn't have it set real hot, and just tacked all this back up, grind it a little bit, and because it is steel, and that's 3 years ago now, and works fine. You know, there's always ways around things. If you never tried, then you'll never know that you can succeed. Isn't that what they say? Welded the sprocket. Not too bad. Still okay. The grooves aren't too deep, so I'm not going to worry about it. So anyway, let's get back to putting this together. Now, like I said, if you're putting on a new bar, which I should, which I'll pick one up and put it on, I think. Well, since we got it apart, may as well. You can get a small screwdriver and put it in the grooves of your, oh yeah, there's a lot of sawdust and stuff in there. All right. Get your compressor, blow it all out, you know, make it nice and pretty. Right now it's just more of how to put it on, in case somebody don't know really how to. So yeah. All right, so this is the bottom. Make sure your chain goes on the right way. The chain is going this way. So that part of the cutter, right? Let's see if you can have a gander at this. So you see how that the pointy part, that's what's going to cut the wood. So since it's going this way, you want, because this is the bottom, which is going to be the cutting part. Well, mostly. You can cut with the top too, but chain still got to be the right way. So make sure your teeth are going in the right direction. And set it all in the grooves. Like so. Right. Hold it there. Take your cover. Try to get that on your studs. Try to get this chain tensioner in the right spot. Can you see what I'm doing though? And for now, you just put on those nuts. Just to keep the bar on there so that the chain don't fall off again. You got to tighten it up anyway. We'll see that in a second here. Now, you take her back down. All right. So, what you'll do is that screw that I showed you, you're going to tighten it up, right? But you're gonna hold on this and lift your bar, because, okay, let's just show you. Say you tighten this up, right? Okay, it's you know, it's tight. When you pull up on your bar and tighten it up, because what's going to happen if you didn't do that, you just kept it down, tighten it up. Every time that you cut off a chunk of wood or cut a tree down, you're putting pressure on the bottom, and this is going to move up because you got this much play. You see that? Now, this blade looks okay, even if you give her an extra few turns. When you lift your, see? And that'd be too loose. So when you're tightening up your chain, make sure you lift up and then give her a tight, and a second here, then it's not so bad. Because bear in mind, you know, snaps back. That's good. Bear in mind, when you are going to be using this, it's going to get warm, and the chain is going to expand, and it's going to be more loose than what you originally had it. So pull up on your bar. You don't need to go crazy tight on these things. So all I do is you go, and you just want a little tension on there. So that's enough. Okay, so you want to be able to move, you know, you really should have gloves on, but you want it to move kind of freely, but not too loose. So that's, and I always gives this a little, once it's cranked down, once it's tightened up, give it a little turn, because even though this is not going to do anything, it vibrates, makes a racket sometimes. So that's it. May not be the most instructional video out there, but you know, if you just bought, I got a review on this saw, so you can check that out. Just make sure you got your teeth going the right way. And can you see that right here on this one? It's actually showing you what it should be looking like on the top and what it should look like on the bottom. So this chainsaw haven't been started for about 5 months. You know, I've been getting a lot of comments and emails about this saw. It seems to be a very popular video of mine. Just hang on there, hang on. I probably am going to make you seasick, but with the camera work. But anyway, so I just wanted to, now, like I said, this has not been started for at least 3-4 months. For sure. I mean, it's got to be pretty close to that. So I just wanted to show you, know how people, they say, you know, the Poulan, and like it's just, you'll never get it started. But not just because I have a Poulan. I couldn't care less about Poulan. If it works, it works. I don't care what it is, right? You could have a mouse in there making it work. If it gets the job done, that's all I care about. But they go on and on and on and on and on about, oh, you can never get them to start. And this video, I hope don't make me out to be a liar, but I've never had a problem getting this thing to start after, like in my other video, the review of this saw. After you get the carburetor to, you're going to have to mess with the carburetor. Anyway, like I said, this haven't been started. There is gasoline in there. So I'm going to just try and start this thing. All right. And I'm going to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Give her 8 shots. Choke is out. And we'll see. She will cut out. You just got to warm her up. Like I say, now, this is after about, oh, I know for sure 3 months, but I'm going to say it's longer than that. So say 3-4 months just sitting there, right? And that's not bad, in my opinion. That's not a lot of trouble. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to add that because so many people around here too is like, oh, Poulan, never buy a Poulan, never buy that, it never works. And frankly, I've never had a problem with. Now, with that said, I'm not going to say that I would, if I went in, cut my trees down, limbed them out, and did it all like that, you know what, I probably would go with a Husqvarna, which basically this is what this is anyway, but I'd go with a higher end, you know, a $500 saw. But for what I do, like I said, I've cut over 40 cord. Never had a problem. I just wanted to add that in. Thanks, guys.